Welcome to another edition of the All Sports Matters podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Amir Sharaz Ortiz, aka Papi Ortiz 02. Yes, it's a me, Papi, in the spirit of Mario. That's where I'm at. Welcome to another edition. Today, or this week, has been a kind of a slow week in sports, but we're still going to knock out those controversial topics. We're still going to hope that you guys chime in, tune in, mainly share this show so we can talk sports. We want you guys to comment. We want you guys to participate just as much as I participate, just as much as my brother participate. And I'll bring up my first brother here, Lieutenant Dan's knees are amazing. What it do, Rob? How you doing? How are those knees?
Hey man, look, I'm getting there. I'm moving around gingerly, but I'm getting there. I'm hanging tough. Good to be back.
That is awesome. So physical therapy is a full go at this point, right?
Ooh, boy, is it. They are ripping my shirt off every week.
So what's the recovery timeline? How is that going?
So from this point, I have another 2 to 3 months before I should be able to fully be in motion like normal. But
so
it all depends
on.
You
need to be ready for exhibition season, right? For football, just in case.
That's what they say,
right?
Yeah, that's what they say. But I'm really not going to do nothing.
You missed the scouting combines. You probably won't get picked up in the draft because we're realistic around here.
Yeah, let's be realistic.
We're not on the clouds, but we still shoot for those stars, though.
Bingo.
So I get it. I'm gonna bring up my other brother, Just Fleck. What is going on, Big Red?
What's up? You know, got to rep them Braves.
Man, that was an amazing game last night.
Yeah, man, that was a good one, man.
And I got to apologize.
Even though you ruined the ending for me.
I don't know if I should apologize for you being 2 minutes behind. I don't know if that's merit an apology. But what I am apologizing for is I knew you were behind. And even though I waited to text you that the game was over, I didn't think you was that far behind.
Yeah, man. I don't know what be going on when I stream sports, man. It just, it's horrible.
Hey, but you know what? Even in the first week of baseball, it was a quite possible National League Championship Series showdown. The Braves and the Padres looks like they're going to be if the top two, if not the top two teams. Obviously, the Dodgers, Mets, Phillies all got something to say about that. We'll talk about baseball here in a second. But even though we had a slow week in sports, we know that the headlines was taken over by the NCAA Final Four. And before I even get to the controversy, I always want to give props where props is due. The women's basketball Final Four and their ratings and their fans outdid by a mile long the men's Final Four. And like we spoke about last week, yes, we look at more consistency when it comes to the South Carolinas of the world, the LSUs, the Stanfords. We always see the same teams, and they be battling the Connecticuts, obviously. But this year, it was woman versus team. Caitlin Clark versus the world, seemed like, right? Because they have some little shooters here and there. I apologize, I didn't mean little, but they have some shooters, but none worthy of being saying that's somebody we need to guard, because it really was just Caitlin Clark. And as much as she did, obviously she didn't do enough with LSU. And before we tackle with the controversy, obviously, let's talk about the Final Four itself. Did we see South Carolina losing to Caitlin Clark and Iowa?
No.
Obviously, we didn't, because I don't think none of us picked. I think maybe no, he didn't even pick them.
No.
Yeah, nobody on this panel did.
No.
I mean, it was they did a good job of like they had a game plan, they stuck to it. They knew South Carolina wasn't much of a threat from behind the arc. They didn't even guard them. You know what I'm saying? Like at one point, Caitlin Clark just waved them off like, let her shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
Let her shoot it. Will lead us to our next point eventually. Is that let's start it off. Is that disrespectful?
I don't think so. That was in
no.
That was the game. That was
That's basketball.
the game, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't something that she did maliciously. It's like, hey, I'm running over here to double her. She's not gonna shoot. Leave her alone.
Yeah. That's almost like somebody sees Draymond Green at the 3-point line. You think I'm really finna run out there to guard that? No, I'm not finna do that.
How they did Russell Westbrook. They do
Russell Westbrook all the time. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just let him shoot it.
Right.
If he makes it, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? We can live with it.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was done in the flow of the game. That wasn't.
I was watching it live, and I don't know. I got hyped, and when not necessarily the motion, but Caitlin Clark's game itself. Like, she was shooting Steph Curry threes.
Yeah, she was.
It was crazy. She wasn't scared to shoot. I thought for a while, I think she missed like 3 in a row. She was just jacking them up to see if they can get it back. I don't know if it was a heat check or to pump up the crowd or get the team going. I was like, she needs to calm down a little bit
during the championship game.
Yeah,
I think honestly, it was she got paranoid because LSU at one point had started pulling away from her. So she was going to try to shoot them back in it.
She did a thing trying to make sure that the rest of the team was involved, but it just was off night. Like, LSU had a perfect game plan in place to address, because they have 3 shooters that pull up, like, have a high percentage from 3. And they literally had the game plan in place to where if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us in the paint and on the perimeter under the 3-point line. You're not going to beat us with the 3-point line. They literally started picking Caitlin and the whole team up at the opposite timeline. It was a magnificent game plan, and they were like in their jersey. It was great to see.
Caitlin Clark still got hers. You know what I'm saying? Like, Caitlin Clark still got hers. It's just
she still got hers, right? You can't stop her.
She couldn't get her teammates involved as much as she could in the other games. Because, I mean, she was averaging like 10 plus assists a game. Because she put up like 11, 12, 13, something like that. The game before South Carolina. I don't know exactly how many she put up in the South Carolina game. But yeah, she was dishing the ball.
So for me, obviously we'll address the controversy, but we always want to talk about the game first because it happened first. What's the girl's name? Jasmine Carson, right?
Oh yeah, she came up.
She couldn't miss in that second quarter.
There
was no missing for Jasmine Carson, and that gave them I think a 13-point lead going to halftime, 13 somewhere around there. They got it to 18. And then it flipped a little bit where Iowa did go on the streak. They went on a 21-3 run and got the game within 8. And then the infamous referees. God, you know what? I'm going to say it because I haven't shied away. I posted on Twitter. I posted on Facebook. And I get what they were trying to do, making an all-women Final Four first time ever. So we got to give them just due. But I just think they picked the wrong women in this regards because it was the worst officiating crew I've seen in the finals.
I'm going to help you out and take the women part out because we don't want to offend half our fan base. So we're going to take the women part out. Those refs, period.
It was just horrible.
Well, no, the reason, just to justify what I was saying, the reason I brought up the women because the first time that they were given a chance. And I want to make sure everybody heard that because that's huge. It was the first time an all-women's crew got to ref. It was just unfortunate that the job they did wasn't what they did in the semifinals. They did a great job in semifinals, but for some reason they got to the finals. I don't know what happened there.
They were whistle happy. They almost made that game about them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And they should never be that.
You got 2 generational talents battling each other, and the refs is what we were talking about until the end of the game.
Well,
like when the 4 of us, well, the 3 of us plus Jim, when we were talking through text, it was like the refs are terrible, the refs are horrible. We weren't even talking about the game. We weren't even talking about the actual players. We were talking about the refs.
This was
Mhm.
egregious. These calls were egregious to the point where Iowa went on a run, got it down to 8 midway through the third quarter, and the foul to give the girl, I forgot her name, from Iowa, that gave her 5th foul.
Warnock, not Warnock.
Yeah,
Warnock.
I think that is Warnock.
Yeah, and then all Caitlin Clark did was dribble behind her back, put the ball out of play, which that's where the ball is going. They gave her a tech for that. So they shot 4 free throws.
And got the ball back.
And got the ball back.
That was the game right there. That was it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way that, and I'm going to tell you, and I hate to say it was one-sided, because the first half was badly both ways. They were bad on both sides of the ball. For some reason, Kim Mulkey got them to switch their plan because she was hitting the refs. She was getting physical with these refs. I don't know if y'all saw it. She was pushing them. She was on the court. She was, no, you move out the way. And they were scared of Kim Mulkey. I was saying, the refs got scared of Kim Mulkey in the second half. And then that 4-point switch and the ball back ended up being another 3-pointer. That's a 7-point swing.
Well, they missed the first 2 free throws.
You know, that's potentially.
Right. Yeah, they missed the first 2 free throws, and I was like, because I was watching the game on mute.
Right.
So they missed the first 2 free throws, and I was like, the ball don't lie. Then I see another girl come up to shoot 2 more, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Then they got the ball back, and I'm like, wait.
And then they got the rock back. Now, before we move on from Kim Mulkey, let's go ahead and give her all praise, because she was at the Met Gala every game. I have never seen a head coach dressed so cold for every game. She looked amazing. Like, I was very impressed.
You must not have
going to a gala.
Sydney Carter.
Who's that?
Sydney Carter.
Oh yeah. No, let's not get twisted. I know exactly who that is. Yeah, Hookem.
Hey,
Hookem. And
She was dressed like she was going to a gala every Friday night.
Yeah, she was on the Met Gala though, for sure.
You know, so it's unfortunate. That changed the game because both the center and Caitlin Clark left the game with 4 fouls. Because in college for women, it's still 5 fouls, and a technical counts as a personal foul. So we got to all state the facts in case y'all didn't know, the audience out there. So that definitely changed the game. Both of those, not only did they score those points, their 2 top scorers had to get off the court. Right. So that definitely led to another LSU run that quickly ballooned back up to 18, and that was the game. Right. That was the game, and obviously we don't want to take away from what Angel Reese has done as a player, because she's a double-double machine. I think she had, 32, something like that?
30
this season. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to take away what they've done. Obviously, Jasmine Carson was their savior with she only scored 8 the whole tournament.
I was about to say, she only had like
11. She scored 8 points the entire tournament.
The entire tournament. And caught
21 in the first half. That was crazy.
Look, talk about when your number is called and catching fire. That is what they talk about.
They had her.
She had the hot hand. Where was she?
I think she started to distribute more, because I think they started keying on her a lot more. And if you notice, in the second half, it was another player that caught fire and scored 19 in the second half. So I think they started keying on her. So they started moving the ball around, and lo and behold, the other guard caught fire and she went off. So, like I said, it was a brilliant game plan. They put together a brilliant game plan.
I will also add that Iowa did not play defense in the LSU game. They had a game plan against South Carolina. They crashed the middle. All 5 girls was down low, but they did not do that. And the reason I'm saying that, because the guard was not following. She wasn't going through the pick and roll at all. She wasn't even trying to fight through that pick and roll. And that was the whole game, was the pick and roll through Angel Reese. And the guard just kept taking it in, layup after layup.
They couldn't just crash the paint like they did against South Carolina, because she was knocking them down from the outside. Right, so they had to play honest.
No, I get that. All I'm saying is the game plan. They didn't have one against LSU. They don't like they was still on the high from beating South Carolina, that they didn't have a game plan other than just give it to Caitlin Clark to win the game. That was about it. And unfortunately, as much as we celebrate the Final Four, It was marred by controversy with Angel Reese and her "You Can't See Me" chant. Or so, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys go before I go on my rant. I'm gonna start with you, Big Rob. What did you think of the ending of the game? Let's put it that way.
So one, I was like, I thought she showed some passion and a little trash talk back to Caitlyn, but at what point do you draw the line? You know what I mean? Like, you could talk trash, but you don't have to follow the person around the court. You know what I mean? Show them, hey, you hit him with that "You Can't See Me," it would have been awesome. Like, we could have been like, oh snap, she got her. And even the ring, if she'd have did the ring movement. But then you following her around the court, it was a little bit over the top, but that's Angel Reese. That's what she does. She's over the top. She's out of Baltimore. She's very much outspoken, and hey, she lets it be known that's what she is. And love her or hate her, that's who she is. But it was a little bit excessive, but not enough to have the type of controversy that they had. It was too much. It was crazy. So, yeah, trash talk is there. It's sports. That's what happens.
Talk to me, Flick. What you think?
Well, Rob took all my points. So I mean, I can add on to what he said. But yeah, I mean, I had no issue with just this, if that's all it was. The gesture itself, I had no issue with. Like Rob said, what got me was her following Caitlin Clark, making sure she saw it. You know what I'm saying? Getting in her face, and the game's over. Like, chill. You do it at the free throw line and be done with it. You know what I mean? Like, why are you following her damn near off the court, continuously doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to get a reaction out of her. I don't know what was said, because, LSU was saying they did it because, they didn't care because they felt like Caitlin Clark disrespected them and South Carolina. I don't know what was said on the court because I wasn't there. So I don't know what was said that, made LSU feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something was said that we couldn't hear, at home. But just based off what we saw, like, yeah, Reese went over the top with it. Like, do it at the free throw line. Do it. Shit, walk past her and do it and keep walking to your bench. But don't follow her trying to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people are, saying that, playing the race card, it's cool if a white girl do it, but when the black girl do it, it's a problem. The gesture itself was not the problem. It was her following Caitlin Clark, and that's the difference. Caitlin Clark did it in the flow of the game to nobody in particular. So, I mean, I don't know.
All right, so before I give my 10 cents, I am going to go into a brief history of what happened between Caitlin Clark and the rest of the NCAA basketball world. And we're only going to start at the Elite Eight when she was going off on Louisville, and she was smoking them. She scored 40 points. She did her thing. She turned around and called timeout. She did her thing. Walking towards her bench, she did "They Can't See Me." Not to anybody. She was talking to her people. They can't guard her. I got it. That's trash talk. No issues. No issues with that. We briefly discussed the Final Four, where she waved off the shooter. Kind of whatever. She just did exactly whatever. Shoot the ball. I don't care. You ain't got the shot. To me, it was a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit, but I get it. We all get it. That was Russell Westbrook, and that was Draymond Green.
So yeah. So with that, let me add on to. So with that was done in the flow of the game, not maliciously. She wasn't like, she was talking to her people, saying, "Hey, let her shoot. We finna double the post. Give it to her." I don't think she did it looking at the girl like, "I ain't worried about you shooting." You know what I'm saying? She did that to her people. Like, no, leave her, double the post, and that's what they did. Like, I didn't have.
And even if she did, again, we've said it, we've had this conversation before. Russell Westbrook gets that wave off a lot. Draymond Green gets it every game. You know what I mean? It's certain players you already know. You see him at the 3-point line. I am not going to go out there chasing you around when I have a monster in this paint that I have to deal with. So, yeah, shoot it. Knock yourself out. Go ahead. It's basketball. And a lot of these people that come in with their 2 cents have not even played church league. And they're sitting here going in saying that this is disrespectful, this is trash talk. Well, you obviously have not played a sport before. Because if you think that there is not trash talk in sports, I really hate to tell you, you are sadly damn mistaken.
But Rob, there's an asterisk though. There's a but.
Right.
I was attacked on social media personally. I was told I never play sports. I don't know what it's like to be trash talking. I'm like, first off,
talking about who? You? Talking about you? Wait, hold up.
They came at me.
You?
Because I said it was tasteless. Now, that was my initial reaction. Before I posted on Facebook, I texted you guys. Immediately when I saw it, I'm like, I said it was classless. Sorry. I'm like, that's classless. Now, that might have been a little over the top as far as initial reactions. You know, maybe I should have waited a couple seconds, you know, but what I should have just said, deleted it, said that was excessive. The words we used, we all agreed on. It wasn't tasteless. It wasn't classless, you know, but yes, it was just excessive because talking trash, talk all the noise you want. I can take it. I can dish it. It works both ways.
Right.
Now, we're going to address a couple of these comments before we continue on with the subject. We got a little bit more to talk about here. The game itself, yes, LSU pushed the pace. Definitely Iowa lacked depth. That's all we talked about. She was a one-person team, you know, pretty much. They always lack depth. And that was going to be their downfall eventually. Caitlin Clark just got hot. And we want to give, I guess as they say, her flowers. You know, she was the leading scorer in a single all-time tournament. She broke that record. I believe that was Candace Parker's record that she broke. And my statistician can double me up on that one. I think it was Candace Parker had the previous single most scoring record in the tournament. You're absolutely right, John Marshall. Women's college basketball was the lead story for these 3 days. Hell, it's still the story. And I'm gonna talk about here why it's still a story. So after the game, Jill Biden was at the game, First Lady Jill Biden, and she wanted to raise the banner for participation trophy. Now, we're not taking sides here. We believe as a group that, yes, it was excessive what Angel Reese did, and we will never say that runners-up deserves to be in the White House. So, but Angel Reese turned around and tweeted, "We ain't going to no." There were some choice words. We ain't going to the White House. We're going to the Obamas. God, is that excessive? Help me out here.
I think she was speaking in an emotional sense because, you know, she felt how she felt probably. You know, she honestly sounded like she felt like if we had lost, would you have invited us? And she honestly does not feel like they would have been invited. So, you know, that's I see what her opinion of it was. I thought it was crazy when I saw it. I'm like, who invites the runner-up to come to the White House for what? So you can see me so I can get showered with accolades again on top of it. Me personally, after I lose, I'm not going to go sitting there watching you getting celebrated unless you want to see me fight. That's all I'm saying. Like I am too passionate about when I play sports to sit there and know I lost a game I wanted to win badly, to sit and watch somebody get showered with praise and accolades a second time. No, leave me alone. Leave me alone before I break something, because I'm a terrible loser. I'm a terrible loser. So, you know,
let me ask you
just.
a question before I get to Fleck here. Let me ask you a question, Big Rob. If a player, regardless of race, followed you around the court talking about,
well, you can't, you ain't gonna. I wouldn't suggest following me nowhere, because anybody who's played sports with me knows I am very aggressive. And I will hurt you. I will hurt you badly. Like, I don't care who's around. I don't care if we're on TV. If you follow Desmond Robinson around on the court, I really hope your medical is paid up, because I'm gonna do something to you.
I think Angel Reese is just a junior, even though she's talking about going to WNBA. She ain't going to WNBA, but
she doesn't have to though.
She said she was coming back.
She is gonna come out.
Fleck, you're part of the Twitter Nation. Talking about these tweets have been going back and forth with Angel Reese in the world at this point.
Like John Marshall said, it's bringing faces that otherwise wouldn't be watching women's basketball. We spent the first almost 30 minutes of this show, and it's going to be more than 30 minutes by the time we're done with this subject, talking about women's basketball.
Right.
That's a good thing, right? Regardless of whether it was positive or negative, we're talking about it. We're putting a spotlight on the women, rightfully so. Because to be honest with you, I thoroughly enjoyed the women's tournament more than I enjoyed the men's.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, be totally honest with you.
Yes.
I agree.
Now, as far as her tweeting about going to the, I mean, I don't. John Marshall said it right again. Jim Biden can't invite nobody to the White House.
Bingo.
But her even using her platform to say she wants Iowa to come too was dead wrong. That was dead wrong.
Why can't she invite? She lives there.
It's the president's job.
It's the president's job. Not the first lady. Not the first lady.
Donald Trump didn't invite nobody to the White House. He didn't want nothing to do with it.
Nobody wanted to go.
Nobody wanted to come.
That was all the
and when they did,
the house.
And when they did come, he wanted to. But when they did come, what do you serve them? Serve them McDonald's.
We're exactly that's what I was about.
And we know Melania don't know nothing about sports.
We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to get
him back there.
The point is, she shouldn't. Sprinkles are for winners, not for losers. You know what I'm saying? Iowa lost. Take your ass back to Iowa. Try again next year.
Hey, good luck.
Like that's LSU's time. That LSU won. You know what I'm saying? That's their privilege, their honor, their, you know what I'm saying, one of the rewards of them, like, to go to the White House. I don't want to go there with the people I just beat.
Let me ask you
Somebody else has done that.
Flat, let me ask you this question. It's point A and question B, I guess. It's all tied together. Angel Reese said that she ain't thinking about no draft because she's making more money now she's ever made. And
she's making more money than some people in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark backed up saying, humble. She's like, no, let her talk trash. She earned it. They won. You know, they did everything, and we don't deserve to go to the White House anyway. We didn't win.
Right.
She said everything right. My question to you is, what is wrong with this world that is still splitting everything down the middle, black and white?
Oh, that's never going to stop. So, I mean, as bad as it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? I could give a F less what color you are. You know what I'm saying? I judge people based on their character. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't bother me. Like, ever. That don't bother me. But yes, it exists in the world. I'm not naive enough to think that it doesn't. Why? I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I know that's cliche or, you know what I'm saying, a cop-out answer or whatever it is. I can't explain why it's that way. I just know it's that way.
Because the reason I'm asking you, and you mentioned it earlier, talking about Angel Reese was attacked for, and they used her race as an excuse, not Angel Reese the person.
Right.
Rob, you said the person Angel Reese is just a trash talker. Is who she is. You got to deal with
Right.
it, take it or leave it. But is she causing further divide by saying, "Oh, I'm going to the Obamas"?
No. I think that's one of those quick reactions to
That
being
wasn't quick,
slighted,
that
to
was
feeling
3 days
slighted.
later. That was
Well,
3
I
days
mean,
later.
we saw it 3 days later, but I'm pretty sure that initially when I first saw it on Twitter, she responded back like, "No, we're not coming,
Yeah, it was
and we'll go to the Obamas." And so then she saw it, she started doing her rounds with the interviews, and then, she said it out loud. But I mean, I think that was one of those times when, she just responded quickly and said something.
I think, and this is, what I'm saying, I'm not speaking for anybody. This is me trying to understand why she may have said that. Iowa, that whole team is white. LSU, that whole team is black.
Virtually black. I think it's like 1 or 2.
Go ahead.
And I think LSU got 2 white players.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. I'm not saying all,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like the major players, maybe I'll say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try to move on from this subject. We'll end it with saying 2 things. My statistician did correct me. I'm not perfect. It was Cheryl Swoops, not Candace Parker, that had the record for all-time scorer in one NCAA tournament. And
no, she still
LSU will be going to the White House as a team, and Angel Reese will be going.
She still has it. Cheryl Swoops scored 47.
No. Okay, you misread the question.
Caitlin Clark had the only 40-point. Oh, you talking about total?
Yes.
She said Caitlin Clark set a single tournament scoring record with 191 points.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I didn't hear the total. I thought you said single game.
No. Total.
Yeah. That okay. That's on me.
Yeah, total. That's all I was saying, and I believe that was Candace Parker, but that's why I wanted you to double check. It still could be Cheryl Swoops, and I could be wrong, but I want to make sure we get the answers right. Speaking of getting it right, for some reason, every time the NCAA season is a mess, UConn ends up winning it. UConn rarely ever is the preseason number 1, is rarely ever the favorite going into a tournament, but when it's some type of turmoil, because this season was unpredictable, UConn ended up on top. We'll give them their 5 minutes of glory. What do we expect from this UConn team going forward, Big Rob? And obviously they were the rightful winner, so I'll say they deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, they came together at the right time. It's all about timing. They got hot right when they needed to, and they put it together at the right time. Masterful game plan. And I can't even remember the last time I saw an NCAA championship game that was a mauling like that. That was a complete mauling of a team. I've never seen somebody get dismantled the way they dismantled their opponent. It was insane. And moving forward, they're going to be the preeminent, probably top seed, and rightfully so. And we'll see what happens next year. But who can predict, honestly, at this point? Because I never would have predicted I know in my bracket I didn't have them getting past the Sweet 16. So
nobody had them past Sweet 16.
Except for UConn fans. And except for if you were a UConn fan, they were the only ones, because I didn't see that coming.
That tournament play out the way you thought it would?
Hell no. Anybody that said that those were their Final Four teams are lying.
They're lying.
There is no. I mean, I think there was like maybe 2 brackets out of like the billions that do them. that had that exact Final Four. Like, yeah, no. I think with the men's game, until they get rid of that one and done rule, you're gonna keep seeing this. You're gonna keep seeing, because you know what I'm saying. We're strong this year, but hell, all of my freshmen are leaving, so we're getting, you know, until they get rid of one and done, I think you're gonna keep seeing it. Until they get rid of, that's my biggest issue with the men's game, that one and done rule.
All right, so we're going to stay with basketball, and this is the NBA's last regular season weekend. Yeah, it's regular season. Okay. The top seeds already been set. Milwaukee in the East, Denver in the West. My question to you guys, obviously right now, the West is a cluster F from 5 through 10. Who doesn't get in? Who does get in? Who's in a play-in tournament? Who do you guys have at the end of the playoff picture?
Well, the only team that's not eliminated right now is Dallas. So, you know, 6 through, let's say 11, 5 through 11, in some form. But Dallas is going to be missing a bunch of extra players for this last game. Luka's sitting out the first quarter.
That's what I thought. They were sitting Luka on.
Yeah, he got some kind of suspension that he's only going to sit out the first quarter or whatever. But I think that right there is going to do them. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be the Lakers, the Pelicans, T-Wolves, and who am I missing? OKC. I think in some, I don't think the Lakers can. Golden State's not going to be in the play-in tournament. They're going to be 5 or 6. Who was it? Clippers. Russell Westbrook. Let's give Russell Westbrook his credit.
He's playing out of his mind.
Handily keeping that Clippers team afloat right now. Like
the other night, you saw the other night what they gave LeBron and the Lakers was bananas. Like Kawhi had 53, 52?
Yeah.
It's insanity right now.
So for me, I think the Lakers.
I want to add on that.
I don't think Dallas. I think Dallas is going to be the one.
I want to add on that LeBron complained about back-to-back games going from Utah to LA, playing for the reason they lost, because he always has to have a reason why they lose. Not when they win, when they lose. So I just want to throw that out there. Not hating on him, just spitting facts. It was his words, not mine. Just want the people out there to know that he was like, no, he was jet lagged when he going from Utah to LA. His words again, not mine, but he had an excuse. Now, here's a playoff matchup, and before we get caught up, Miami has kind of been on a little roll here in the last week or so. If they finish 7th and play Boston in the first round, Fleck, are you worried?
Not at all.
Not a little bit. Are you worried a little bit? They're playing Miami, a hot Miami team.
I'm not. No. I'm more concerned if we slip to 3.
No, they're not slipping it. They're already 3 games up.
I mean,
it's like 2 games left. It's like 2 games left, 3 games up. So
yeah. I'm not worried about Miami. No.
Oh, and
Justin Bounce.
Yep, say what I was just about to say. Yep, I was just about to tell you.
Luka is done for the season. Holy crap. So we're waiting word on what's going on there.
After the first quarter?
He said he'll play in the first quarter and he's out.
He's out after that.
So they went from being suspended in the first quarter to playing in the first quarter, and then they're going to sit him.
So what's the point in playing him? What I don't this has me confused.
This has Mark Cuban written all over it, if you're asking me.
So now you don't want us to make the playoffs. That's what you're telling me.
No, they're tanking for Wembanyama.
But they're going to be like one of the bottom teams in that lottery.
I don't know what they're doing. Okay, I was just trying to get Mark Cuban out because he was on Facebook and online and Twitter crying about they didn't have a chance to re-sign Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson's the reason why they don't have a leader on the floor. If you're saying all that publicly, obviously you don't care about your team and their feelings.
He put the blame on, what was it, Jalen Brunson's family as the reason why Jalen Brunson didn't re-sign. So yeah, it's too much going on for my taste. But hey, what do I know?
We're going to go to the comments here. Russ cooks when he's comfortable. I think it was more of a comeback game. He was trying to show the Lakers. And granted, he's been playing well since Paul George has been out. He has been playing well. So we'll give, like I said, we'll give Russell Westbrook his due diligence. I do agree that Boston does not want to see Miami in the first round. Not with the, for me, it's not with the state that Boston is in. They're kind of struggling a little bit. Jaylen Brown just got hurt for his hand. He hasn't really stopped shaking the head. No, I'm not even talking to you right now. Okay, all right, sir.
He'll be fine.
What if he doesn't want? What if he doesn't even want to play in Boston anymore? Like right now, we know he doesn't want to play in the future. So why not start now?
He'll be fine.
You confident? You that confident?
Yes.
Okay.
With no hesitation, he will be fine.
Speaking of
Jimmy
confidence,
Jimmy Butler is not that dude. We're not worried about Jimmy Butler.
You just messed up my perfect segue. Speaking of confidence, Doc Rivers is confident that Joel Embiid is the MVP of the season. Are we still on the Joel Embiid trip here?
I'm gonna give it to him, but I'm gonna say he a punk for ducking Joker. That game in Denver though.
But Jokic was hurt. You know, he's been hurt. Matter of fact, I'm glad you brought it up. Should Denver be concerned with Jokic's availability right now?
Yeah.
He sat out again yesterday.
And I think it's more precautionary probably now, prepping for the playoffs, but I still would have some serious words at this point because it's getting to that point where it's crunch time.
I'll throw one more question out there. Both sides, I'm asking both of you. Quick question. Who doesn't make it? Who doesn't make it to the top 8? Miami, Atlanta, Toronto, Chicago.
I think Miami. I think it's going to be I think Miami and I want to say Toronto because Toronto to me has been a disappointment because that team has so much talent on it.
Yep.
They've been a disappointment to me. I think that they like Chicago is hurting. Atlanta has their own issues. I kind of want to say Miami and Toronto.
Well, I will say that Toronto's publicly stated that they will be searching for a new head coach without even firing their present one. So that's kind of crazy to me. How these teams want drama and the season not even over with, and they're in playing games. So I don't know what's going on with those franchises. Rob, who do you have not making it in the West? Lakers, Pelicans, Wolves, and OKC.
OKC. And I'm gonna say T-Wolves.
We're not trusting Anthony Towns to win too.
I don't know because I just feel like Pelicans are going to get in there. The Lakers, they're going to make it. But
and I'm glad you mentioned the Pelicans in one last news brief. Snacks will not be returning this season, as pretty much nobody really expected him to.
No.
But
maybe
Jimmy. Jimmy probably the only one expecting to come back, but we did
sit on the bench.
So he is not coming back as he's getting ready to sit out next year. I don't know what's going on in New Orleans and Zion Williamson when it comes to that regard. Let's see what else we got on the board.
Embiid had already put in work versus Denver this season.
Too quick.
I don't like Philly. So
I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you don't.
For ducking Joker or ducking Denver.
Nah, you shouldn't. I
said
Philly and Boston has been
whether that's what happened or not. That's how I feel.
Philly and Boston has been an uneventful rivalry in these last few seasons. So
Because it's been
We'll
one-sided.
we'll
So
see how
it's
that.
going to be uneventful. When
Speaking
it's
of
one-sided.
uneventful, the Masters week and Tiger Woods shooting a +2 may not make the cut, but the Masters has been suspended due to weather. As many of you probably seen the video of the tree go down.
That
While
was
the
crazy.
fans are standing there, we have
Three
no
trees.
reports of any injuries or casualties.
That
It's
was
three
crazy.
trees. It was three trees.
So let's hope everybody is well. They haven't reported anything, so we'll see how that goes. The Masters is going on. The weekend will probably go on without Sir Tiger Woods. Speaking of the weekend, not the singer, the Titans have agreed to Jeffrey Simmons on a 4-year, $94 million extension with 66 guaranteed. This question is for Big Rob. Is Jeffrey Simmons a top 5 defensive lineman? That'd be
Yes. Yes. Top 5? Yes. No question. Easily.
Is
Hands
he
down.
top 2? Is he top 2?
By my assessment, no. I would give him. I would honestly put him behind, of course, Aaron Donald, Chandler Jones, Quentin Williams, and then I'd have him either him or Quentin Williams. Well, yeah, okay, Quentin Williams, and then him after that. Yeah, I put him after Quentin Williams.
Go ahead, Flex. Say your piece.
That is so disrespectful.
But I love him. I think he's a phenomenal player, and I think he should have got paid. But
Jeffrey Simmons is the best defensive tackle in the NFL, not named Aaron Donald.
And as you should say,
Flowers, there is nobody better than Aaron Donald at defensive tackle.
Not in Tennessee, no.
But again,
look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. He sat out the majority of his rookie season, and he's still from the defensive tackle position, almost 200 tackles and 21 career sacks from the defensive tackle position.
Oh, and I just thought about it. Yeah, I still would put him above him. He's arguably in third.
No,
I would say arguably in third. I could be okay with him if somebody told me they put him at number 2. I won't sit here and say, "Oh, that's bullshit. He shouldn't be there." Now, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, for my opinion. That boob? Did you say boob? But
I was slow with the warnings.
The button with the censor button. I got you. But yeah, that's just me, and I feel what you're saying. Phenomenal player.
I don't know. I like Jones for the Chiefs as the next one.
Why?
Chandler Jones?
No. Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
That what you meant when you said Chandler?
No,
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. No, I'm not talking about Chandler. Chandler Jones should.
John Marshall just said if we're including defensive ends, no, he's not top 5.
We are not. Well, we're not talking defensive ends. We're just talking about.
You said defensive
linemen.
So
if we said defensive linemen, then yeah.
Tackle, yeah.
If we talking about specifically defensive tackle, then no. Yeah.
And he anchored the best run defense in the NFL.
I mean, what do you expect? They play a monster every week in practice.
They play
every week. They're up there having to stop a damn grown ass man, a damn walking grizzly bear in practice. So yeah, they should be able to stop anybody's run game.
What you're saying is equivalent to a Jaguars fan saying that Goldilocks is a top 2 quarterback.
Oh, that is not anywhere near.
I'm about to say that's not the same. I hope the God that's not the same.
You are reaching.
I'm like Sunshine ain't that far progressed.
I'm just saying that's the AFC's top target. Just want to throw that out there.
Oh my God!
You haven't told me why you feel why Chris Jones is your number 2.
Well, if you asking me, I've seen every Chiefs game where I just peruse a Titans game. There's nothing about that team that I have to
He
watch.
said, "I peruse." I'm so amazed that I
I
love how you use peruse in the
so
sentence. I love that.
If we're talking offense, then yeah, okay, yeah, we know Tennessee sucks on offense. Outside of their
we ain't talking offense, but I am glad that you brought up the offense because we're moving on, sir. And speaking of offense, where does
I will be heard. Jeffrey Simmons is the number 2 D tackle in the league.
Where does Eckler play in an offense next season?
I know where I would like to see him play. I don't know if he'll get there, but they seem to want like every running back. Miami.
I would love to see that. You read my mind.
Boy, you would have to pick your poison for real.
Let me tell you something. That would be the most.
Oh
my God. That offense would be amazing. That would literally be the best offense in the world to watch.
We're going to caveat this a little bit since you brought up Miami. And speaking of Miami, Tyreek Hill of Miami said he's retiring after the 2024 season, after his contract is done. 2025. After his contract is done, you're right, 2025. Are we believing it? Are we not believing it? Are we buying it, selling? What are you doing?
Like I told you in text, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I don't give that I don't even know why that was a story, a headline.
Yeah.
Be honest.
That's like somebody saying there's a 8-foot red velvet cake. I believe it when I see it.
Yeah. Until he actually hangs it up.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah. He'll be 31?
31.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, I know his game is predicated on his speed, but I don't think he's going to lose that much speed
at all.
Speaking of believing, until you see it, the Spence Crawford fight has finally been signed for June 17th.
Thank God. Hallelujah.
Are we still believing that this fight is going to happen?
Man, look, for me,
I'm praying.
Once he dropped, what was it, Top Rank? I think he was with.
Yeah, I think it's Top Rank.
Once he dropped them and was able to get in there and actually negotiate for this thing to happen, I'm more confident now than I've ever been that it's gonna happen. Because this is the first time for me that I can remember, and I'm having a brain dump right now, that they've actually even put a date with them, possibly fighting.
Right.
And it's going to be announced for sure. If it does happen, it's going to be announced for sure April 22nd, the Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis card. It's going to be announced then, if it happens.
Since you brought up that fight, who do we got winning that one here in 2 weeks? No, next Saturday.
I can't pick against Tank.
I'm not picking against Tank.
I can't pick against Tank.
Won't do it.
I like Garcia's power, and if Tank obviously moves like he always does, he can avoid his power. So, yeah.
And Tank has power too.
Yeah. Tank is
and he got power. So.
And yeah, exactly. He's a tactician, and he has mean power. So it's hard to go. I can't do it. I'm not going against Tank. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't like Tank the person, so it's kind of hard for me to say his name coming out as a victor in this one. So I'll be rooting against him.
Regardless of how you feel about him personally or outside of the, we're just talking about Tank the boxer. We're not talking about whatever he's got going on outside, because what's going on outside the ring isn't in the ring.
I understand what you're saying, but that's why I'm rooting against him, and I'll be rooting for Ryan Garcia.
But that's not answering the question of who you think is going to win. I'm going to put you on the spot, but you're not going to dance around that one.
Speaking of dancing,
no, answer the question.
I actually didn't have anything to say after dancing, so I was just trying to. I was trying to
buy some time. I didn't even look at.
I was trying to buy some time. Okay. Here's what gets me. There was a fight, I think 2 years ago.
Sir, did you answer the question?
No. I'm about to answer that.
Okay, answer the question, then go into your story, because I'll forget that I asked the question by the time you're done.
No, it's tied to my answer. Garcia fought, and I forgot his name, short Mexican guy that actually took it to him, and they took it to a decision. I don't know if it was rust. I don't know if he was a little bit off, but the guy had power, but it was barely hitting him. He was hurting Davis. If Garcia can do what Garcia does, I like Garcia's chances in beating Gervonta Davis. Does he beat him? I don't think so, but I like his chances to beat him, if that makes sense.
So for the record, you got Tank winning.
For the record, this weekend, UFC 287.
Yes or no? Yes or no? You keep dancing.
I did. I answered. I answered the question.
No.
I answered the question.
You're leaving lefts and rights.
I'm not
going straight down the
answering the
middle. Who do you have winning, Davis or Garcia?
Look, I'm doing what he's doing right now.
You said I like Garcia's chances, and then
but I think Davis wins. Is what I said.
No, you didn't say I think Davis wins.
I did.
You just said it.
All I'm saying is there's a lot of this right now going on that I'm doing right now. There's a lot of this.
You better be careful with that knee, sir. You can't work it that hard.
Notice I'm sitting.
Like next question.
Speaking of people who needs wins, this weekend's UFC 287, and there's two guys on this card that desperately needs win. One is Israel Adesanya, who was running through the competition until he met Alex Pereira, and they're set to meet for the second time this weekend in the UFC. A little backstory to that. This is the fourth time they're actually fighting. Pereira has already beaten him 3 times. Twice in Glory, 1 time before in UFC. Man, Israel Adesanya desperately needs this victory. I don't know if he can do it. Talk to me, guys. What do you think?
He's definitely gonna have to cut out some of the in-ring shenanigans and actually, you know what I'm saying, concentrate on this dude. Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying, this right here, that shit right there is what got him last time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna have to concentrate and do his thing. Will he win? I don't know.
See, now you know how I felt when you asked me to answer Garcia and Davis. See?
But if you ask me to answer it, I'll answer it.
Also on that card, we got Jorge Gamebred Masvidal going up against Gilbert Burns. And Masvidal.
Cornbread and oxtails. What?
He said cornbread, oxtails. He said game bread.
I don't even know why I told you guys. Like I don't even know what. You're not helping me at all here. His nickname is Game Bread. Jorge Masvidal from Miami. You know what? We're moving on to the merger that happened between UFC and the WWE and Zoro's dad D on TV talking about the Endeavor Group, which is the owner of UFC, which is now the owner of WWE. They just merged for a whopping total of $21.9 billion, which
billion with a B.
$12 billion right off the back. In the words of Hurricane, what's up with that?
As far as like the actual product, they're saying it's not going to change.
It already did.
I was getting to that.
Sorry. It's my Tourette's.
But as long as Zoro's dad is running the
Zoro's
dad, they still gave him, he's still the number 2 in this merger. He's the number 2 guy. So he still has control. Until that dude is like, it's gonna, we've already seen, him reportedly, because we don't know for sure, but it's awfully funny that, when he came back around, the product, kind of sucked. Supposedly, and I don't want to, steal your thunder, but supposedly he took over WrestleMania Night 2. and we saw that WrestleMania Night 2 did not live up to Night 1.
Not even close.
And then the Raw after WrestleMania straight up sucked.
Garbage.
That's normally when we see all the call-ups, returns from injury, and we got Matt freaking Riddle. That's all we got.
Matt Riddle.
Like, I was so disappointed. I was so hyped for the Raw after WrestleMania because of the way Braun Breaker lost, because of the way Roxanne Perez lost. And then I'm sitting there watching Raw after WrestleMania, and it's like,
I need to address this comment here. John Marshall, Dana White has never owned UFC. He was just the president of operations. He's never been an owner. The Fertitta brothers, the brothers who had owned the Sacramento Kings, were the owners of UFC before they sold it to Endeavor Group. Just for the record, Dana White has never owned UFC. So you mentioned WrestleMania. Obviously, are we all disappointed in how that turned out?
Day 2, yes.
Yeah.
Day 1, no. Night 1 was incredible. Night 1 was special. I enjoyed every second of that first night. Second night, I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Like, what are we doing? And then it seemed like they went off script and changed some of the quote unquote outcomes that were supposed to be in place that had Vince's fingerprint wrote all over it. And I wish Dirty Mustache wouldn't have showed up because Triple H was doing a great job. But once the Filthy Mustache showed up, it just turned horrendous. Also, let me take this time right now. John Marshall's son is a pro wrestler, and I want to send a shout out to him. Rico Bravo, love you, nephew, and hopefully we'll see you in WWE one day.
Hopefully Vince is gone by the time he gets there.
And I pray Dirty Mustache is gone by then.
And I will tell you, we always hear the chants, you sold out, you sold out. Triple H made $5 million on his merger. I think he sold out. I said, Vince, you can do what you want. I got paid. I mean, think that's something that has something to do with it?
I doubt it.
No. That's Vince. Like, hey, I'm back. This is my show. We're gonna do it my way.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. I don't care who likes it. I mean, from SummerSlam up until night 2 of WrestleMania, Triple H, for the most part, has done phenomenal. Has done an awesome job.
I don't know. Royal Rumble wasn't good.
No. Okay, but maybe that was a dud.
Royal Rumble was not a good show.
It was a dud.
Maybe that was a dud, but it gave us it furthered that bloodline storyline.
Yes, it did.
We kind of knew was going to happen, but we didn't see it happening like that.
Right.
Well, obviously, if Roman Reigns loses the title, bloodline storyline probably is over. So they're probably going to continue it, knowing that he's on top and letting everybody else try to catch up to him somehow. And we'll see how that goes.
And there was a lot of people that were upset that Cody didn't win. Y'all saw how I got hyped when Roman Reigns finally won. You know what I mean? Like that's how, whether you like him or not, that was the best outcome. Because had Cody won, then what?
I think they were planning, but I think the whole time they have been planning, though. Well, I'm sure that Vince had some say in this, to have a rivalry between Cody and Brock Lesnar. For what reason, I have no clue. Because one, Brock Lesnar is going to kill him in the ring, and I don't really want to see that.
But see if okay, go ahead.
I'll ask the question: what if he doesn't? What if it is to build up Cody Rhodes to a mega superstar? Remember, Seth Rollins. I think that's what's going to happen. But I think that's what's going to happen.
I think that's what they're trying to do. Do I believe it'll work? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Do you know how huge that would be for Cody to win?
He won. Yes,
Brock freaking Lesnar.
If he won,
and then it'll make him eventually beating Roman, if that's
even
the
better.
decide to go down, that much
Right.
more bigger. Like I said, why? Because if I'm Brock, I'm gonna help you beat Roman, and then I'm gonna attack you because now you still have an opportunity to win the belt, and now I can chase back after the belt again. So
right, that's what my thinking would have been. That was my thinking. Exactly. I would have helped you beat Roman. I would have helped you beat Roman so you could get the belt, and then I'd have beat the brakes off of you.
And if that was the case, right, you got your shot. Now I'm gonna beat you, let you know that I'm next.
I'm next. Exactly. That would have been smart PR move, smart, coordination for the future. But again, Dirty Sanchez got involved, and it was what it was.
Not Dirty Sanchez.
I'm just saying that mustache is the most hideous thing. And then, so let the Beijing go, Sarge. Let it go, Sarge. We know you're a silver wolf or whatever you call yourself. Silver. I'm not saying silver fox. You're a silver wolf. Sarge, stop dyeing your mustache and your beards.
As we're wrapping up our show, the Major League Baseball season has just begun. Right, 1 week down, 6 months left to go. Whatever it is. Any surprises after week one?
The Braves are amazing.
Tampa Bay, undefeated.
The only undefeated team in the
that's huge. You know what I'm saying?
I still say the Braves are amazing.
Yes, they are. As you can clearly see.
I thoroughly enjoyed the Braves Padres game last night. I will admit that I thoroughly enjoyed that game, watching that game. We started the show by saying that game. We'll end it by saying that game. I am
right up until the end.
I am slightly amused by the struggles of the New York Mets at this point. They for the amount of money that was used to build that program or that team, they are struggling to put it together, and I get it. It's still first week. I do, but they have seasonal issues. Like their issues is not going to come up overnight. Like you see a team lose their first 3-4 games and they're good. Like Houston is 3-4, but we're not worried about Houston. We know Houston's going to get it together. We're talking about I'm not confident the Mets can put that together. Considering the amount of money they spent.
Philly's struggling. Are we worried about Philly?
I am worried about Philly, but I will tell you theirs is a little bit different, and that's why I'm not hitting on them. Theirs is completely injury prone. Losing Harper, losing Hoskins, losing they lost one more just the other day, got hurt. But yeah, outside of Trey Turner, Schwarber just hit his first home run. So they still got a long way to go, and they're unfortunately in a division where they can't fall that far behind to catch up. Because the Braves are playing good baseball. I'll admit that. And they're doing it without their ace, Max Fried, who hurt his hamstring on opening day. Michael Harris also went to the injured list today as well. He's been hurt. So I get it.
Injuries are playing pretty good. The Pirates, they're playing pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pirates look good. The Pirates look good. It's week
one. Early, though.
It's week one.
And that's all. And, we have
there's a lot of teams. Usually we don't talk about teams fade out until May, end of May, where the real season, contenders. But it's week one, but something that we have to acknowledge is the games are down by an average of 28 minutes. You can literally sit there in 2 hours and 10 minutes and watch a baseball game. We couldn't do that before. And as much as I was an advocate to the pitch clock and the timer, which I'm still not, I'm not going for it, but it has helped the time. The Marlins and the Mets game finished at 2 hours and 3 minutes the other day. So just to let you know that it's going.
Why are these umpires in their feelings too? With such short triggers. Like everything is triggering them with the ejections. Who was it? Tim Anderson got ejected last week.
That was dumb. But they brought on a lot of new umpires this year as well. So they still got to get their feet wet in Major League time. They did change off a lot. They tried to retire the old ones who's been there forever, who's set in their ways because they know they wasn't going to get used to this pitch clock. So they dropped a lot of older umpires to a newer modern umpire so they can get used to this pitch clock and this timer. So we'll see how that goes. But with that being said, you're bringing on millennials who are sensitive usually in a lot of things, and you bring them on to be an umpire, and you say, I called timeout. No, you didn't. You're out the game. You didn't say nothing. He still got kicked out. And that's what happened to Tim Anderson yesterday. So it's insane. Manny Machado, same thing. Got kicked out the other day. First plate appearance.
And I know it was in spring training, but Ramolta, am I saying
that was insane to me. That was totally.
Like, I reach back for the ball, don't feel it,
right?
Bring my hand back, and I get kicked out the game.
Right.
Like, what?
It looks like right now, the Braves are the team to beat in that American League East, National League East, sorry. But we'll see. You know, it's a long season, obviously. 162 games total, just 1 week down. Rob, before we close, you got anything interesting, an interesting fact to give us?
I got two. So let's talk about the tournament for the men's tournament. You know, we all know UConn was a number 4 seed and they won it all. When was the last time a number 4 seed won it? And who was the team?
Is that the one that we no, that ain't the one we talked about.
No, I haven't mentioned it. Anybody?
The last 4
Shot in the dark. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Villanova.
Villanova, not Villanova.
Well, I mean, that was my guess.
What about you, Amir?
I don't. I was thinking Duke, but no.
It's Arizona. Arizona won it in 1997 as a 4 seed. So
that's when they had Miles Simon, Richard Jefferson.
Bingo. Yes. They had a nice squad. Yeah. And so now we're going to flip over to the women's tournament. And Kim Mulkey is the epitome of winning. She is a great coach. How many times has she lost in a season more than 9 games?
Once.
Let's say none.
Twice. Only 2 times has she ever lost more than 9 games. And that was in 2002 to 2003 and again in 2009 to 2010 when she was at Baylor. Other than that,
and Baylor.
Yeah, she has been the epitome of winning. She won when she played for Louisiana Tech. She won as an Olympian. She won as a coach at Baylor. And now she's bought LSU their very first NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. So from us here at All Sports Matters, we want to salute Kim Mulkey and the job that she's done as a head coach. She's amazing. We salute you. Thank you for what you're doing for the game. You are literally bringing new fans in every day. So we salute you.
I want to add on to that Kim Mulkey facts. She is now no longer tied for 3rd in all-time women's championship. She is in 3rd. The first 2
Gino Auriemma and Pat Summitt.
Pat Summitt's number 1, Gino's number 2.
Yeah. And
Kim Mulkey moves into number 3 all-time coaching. Huh?
Who's she pass?
What is her name? Give me a second. I'll tell you.
She has 4 total. So there was like 3 people tied with 3rd, and with 3, and she's the 3rd by herself of 4. So I remember seeing that during the broadcast.
Is it Devers?
Yeah. So awesome.
Is her last name Devers?
We got for us.
What's that? I'm sorry. I ain't got nothing, man. You know, I'll never have. Hey, that's Rob's time to shine at the end. I'll never have nothing.
Oh, and also, Sean Combs, if you get a chance, sir, we would sure love some endorsement. Ciroc Honey Melon. It's amazing.
Honey melon. That's a interesting combination there.
Very
But
fruitful.
with us, we are out. We appreciate the support. We are the All Sports Matters podcast group. We are the three brothers. Our fourth is out on a family trip tonight. She'll be back shortly. We thank you guys for participating. We thank you guys for sharing. We thank you guys for your support. But remember, here in the All Sports Matters podcast, you might be a fan of baseball, football, and basketball, but here, all sports matters. See you guys.
Oh, and also Brett Favre needs to be put in jail for stealing from Mississippi. Let's go.
And on that, we out.